What if I told you that a single simple nut, something that might already be sitting in your kitchen, could completely transform your prostate health overnight? Yes, you heard that right. If you're a man over 50 and you're waking up multiple times a night to urinate, struggling to start or maintain your stream, or constantly feeling like your bladder is never fully empty, there's a good chance you're dealing with an enlarged prostate, what doctors call BPH. And this isn't just an inconvenience. BPH can disrupt your sleep, drain your energy, lower your desire, and even increase your risk for urinary tract infections. I'm Dr. Cole, a men's health specialist with over 30 years of experience. After treating thousands of patients, I've discovered a truth few people talk about. There's a humble, easy-to-find nut that can naturally calm inflammation, improve pelvic circulation, and even help shrink the prostate. No medications, no side effects. In this video, I'll reveal 8 nuts, explain exactly why they work, and show you how to use them the right way to see results fast. And the last one? It's the most powerful of them all, backed by science, yet most men completely overlook it. Before we dive in, let me know where you're watching from down in the comments. When it comes to shrinking the prostate, most men immediately think of medications, surgeries, or strict diets. Very few believe that something so small, so humble, sitting quietly in a glass jar at the corner of the kitchen, could make such a huge difference. I've met hundreds of patients who walked into my clinic wearing the same expression, exhausted, sleep-deprived from waking up at night to urinate, silently asking, "Is there an easier way?" And the truth almost no one tells you is, yes, there is. It starts with a tiny seed, yet inside it lies an arsenal of biological weapons against inflammation, hormone imbalance, and poor blood flow. The first seed on this list is a silent warrior that most men completely overlook, even though it's been studied for decades with promising results. I'm talking about flaxseed, a tiny, inexpensive seed with the power to transform your entire prostate health picture. What many people don't realize is this: an enlarged prostate isn't just about size, it's about silent inflammation deep inside the gland. As the body ages, the tiny blood vessels feeding the prostate lose their elasticity, testosterone begins to fall out of balance with estrogen, and DHT, a powerful derivative of testosterone, rises. All of this causes the prostate tissue to swell, press against the urethra, and create those symptoms you know too well: difficulty starting, nighttime trips to the bathroom, and that constant feeling of never quite done. Flaxseed strikes at the root of this problem. It's rich in ALA, alpha-linolenic acid, a plant-based omega-3, one of nature's strongest anti-inflammatories. When your body converts ALA into EPA and DHA, these compounds reduce inflammatory cytokines and improve blood flow to the pelvic area. The result? Prostate tissue calms down, pressure on the bladder eases, and urination becomes smoother. But that's not all. Flaxseed is also packed with lignans, natural phytoestrogens. And here's the fascinating part. Lignans don't raise estrogen the way some fear. Instead, they help balance hormones by binding to estrogen receptors and preventing the imbalances that trigger prostate growth. A Harvard study even found that men who consume more flaxseed have a significantly lower risk of BPH and more stable free testosterone levels compared to those who don't. There's one more overlooked benefit. The soluble fiber in flaxseed doesn't just support gut health, it indirectly supports testosterone. A healthy gut clears excess estrogen more efficiently, reducing hormonal strain on the prostate. It's a closed-loop mechanism that no drug can replicate. But here's where many men go wrong. They buy whole flax seeds, store them in the kitchen, and eat them straight, then wonder why nothing happens. The truth is, whole flax seeds pass through your system mostly intact, never releasing their nutrients. To unlock their benefits, you have to grind or crush them first. The ideal amount is 1 to 2 tablespoons a day. Mix it into Greek yogurt, sprinkle it over oatmeal, or blend it into a morning smoothie. And we're not done yet. There's another seed most men over 60 wish they'd known about sooner. I'm talking about chia seeds. I remember a patient named Margaret, 68, who came to see me with exhaustion written all over her face. She told me she could no longer sleep through the night, waking every 3 to 4 hours with the urge to urinate. Each time, she felt not only frustrated but afraid because her late husband's enlarged prostate had caused similar symptoms before he passed. "I know women don't have prostates," she said, "but why do I feel this constant pressure and discomfort in my lower belly?" When I examined her, the culprit wasn't the prostate at all. It was chronic pelvic inflammation, which can make the bladder and urinary system hypersensitive, mimicking the very same symptoms men with BPH experience. Chia seeds are often underestimated, but inside them is a microlaboratory of plant-based omega-3s, ALA, soluble fiber, and potent antioxidants like chlorogenic acid and quercetin. At 60 and beyond, our bodies are riddled with low-grade inflammation, from joints to the heart to the pelvic area, and the prostate or bladder is no exception. The omega-3s in chia act like fire extinguishers, lowering the production of inflammatory compounds, prostaglandins, cytokines, that fuel prostate enlargement or bladder irritation. Meanwhile, the soluble fiber does something else entirely. It feeds beneficial gut bacteria. Few people realize how closely gut health is tied to sex hormones. When the microbiome is healthy, the body processes estrogen and testosterone more evenly, reducing the hormonal imbalances that make prostate issues worse. And then there are the antioxidants, tiny but critical molecules that shield prostate cells and pelvic tissue from oxidative stress, a silent driver of abnormal cell growth. In fact, recent studies suggest antioxidant-rich diets can slow prostate enlargement by as much as 30 to 40%. For Margaret, just 1 month of adding 2 tablespoons of chia seeds daily, soaked in warm water or stirred into yogurt, made a noticeable difference. Less pressure in her lower belly, less discomfort when urinating, and most importantly, fewer nighttime awakenings. This wasn't some overnight miracle. It was the result of a steady, natural healing process. A process your body already knows how to do, if you simply give it the right fuel. And the story doesn't stop here, because the third seed brings an entirely different mechanism to the table. It works directly on male hormones and balances the omega-3 to omega-6 ratio, something few people realize is absolutely critical to maintaining vitality after 60. Many assume that only exotic, expensive, or hard-to-find foods can powerfully impact men's sexual health after 60. But what surprises most of my patients is this. A tiny seed, misunderstood for decades, turns out to be the key to balancing hormones and reducing prostate inflammation: hemp seeds. Hemp seeds are not marijuana. They don't get you high, they don't affect your mind, and they're completely legal. What hemp seeds truly offer is a perfect balance of omega-3 and omega-6, something almost no other food provides. After 60, most of our diets are overloaded with omega-6, from processed vegetable oils, and lacking in omega-3, which drives chronic inflammation, hormone imbalance, and poor circulation, 3 factors that directly worsen prostate enlargement. Hemp seeds, with their golden 3.1 ratio of omega-6 to omega-3, help reset this system, calming inflammation and improving blood flow to the pelvic region. But what truly sets hemp seeds apart is GLA, gamma-linolenic acid, a rare fatty acid that naturally regulates hormones and reduces prostate inflammation. Studies show GLA can lower levels of DHT, dihydrotestosterone, the hormone that drives prostate enlargement, while supporting the pituitary gland to produce sex hormones more steadily. The result? Less inflammation, less bladder pressure, and an easier urinary flow. On top of that, hemp seeds are a complete protein, containing all 9 essential amino acids, helping your body maintain muscle mass and recover faster from physical activity. This is crucial when you're trying to regain energy and endurance in your 60s and beyond. They're also rich in magnesium, zinc, and vitamin E, 3 nutrients vital for sexual function, heart health, and blood vessel elasticity. I've seen patients add just 2 to 3 tablespoons of hemp seeds a day, sprinkled over salads, mixed into yogurt, or blended into smoothies, and notice changes within weeks. One of them, Harold, 71, dramatically reduced his nighttime trips to the bathroom and regained confidence in his intimate life after only 2 months on this simple routine. And if hemp seeds impressed you, wait until you hear about the next one. Most people think of it as a cheap snack you find in every supermarket, but very few know it can protect both your prostate and your manhood. I've met far too many men who treated sunflower seeds as nothing more than casual munchies, only to battle urinary problems, dull pelvic aches, and even chronic prostate enlargement years later. What they never realized is that this unassuming seed is loaded with an antioxidant treasure few people talk about: natural vitamin E, magnesium, and selenium. Vitamin E in sunflower seeds acts as a shield against the free radical storm, silently damaging prostate cells year after year. Picture free radicals as tiny sparks flying inside your body's engine. If left unchecked, they burn prostate tissue, fueling inflammation and increasing the risk of enlargement. Magnesium relaxes the blood vessels around the pelvic area, improving circulation, critical for getting oxygen and nutrients to the prostate so it can heal. And selenium, an often overlooked trace mineral, helps regulate sex hormones and protects prostate cell DNA from harmful mutations. These benefits extend beyond the prostate. This trio of nutrients also supports heart health, lowers blood pressure, and helps stabilize energy throughout the day, an indirect but crucial factor for sexual performance. Men with strong circulation are far less likely to struggle with erectile issues and recover faster from fatigue. You only need a small handful, about a quarter cup, of lightly roasted or raw sunflower seeds daily. Sprinkle them on salads, mix them into Greek yogurt, or enjoy them as a simple snack. But avoid salted or heavily flavored varieties, as excess sodium can raise blood pressure and counteract their anti-inflammatory benefits. You won't see changes tomorrow, but imagine this. A few months from now, you wake up after a full night's sleep. No bathroom trips. The constant pelvic pressure you thought would haunt you forever, gone. And what surprises you most? The energy, the steadiness, and the quiet return of masculine confidence. Not just in daily life, but in your most intimate moments. Most men say, "I wish I'd known this sooner." Don't let that be you months from now. And let me tell you about one more seed, especially if you don't want to become the next patient in my clinic. I once met a patient named Arthur, 69. He didn't come in for sharp pain. He came because of relentless fatigue and that nagging feeling of always needing to go, but never emptying fully. He told me some nights he woke up 3, even 4 times, and each time it took nearly an hour to fall back asleep. He thought it was just aging, but his test results told a different story. His zinc levels were alarmingly low, even below the minimum threshold for normal prostate function. I explained to Arthur that the prostate holds more zinc than any other organ in a man's body. When you're deficient, the gland loses its natural anti-inflammatory shield, and DHT, the hormone most responsible for enlargement, skyrockets. The prostate swells, the urinary stream weakens, and pelvic pressure builds relentlessly. Arthur sighed and said, "No one ever told me this. I thought all I needed was less coffee and more exercise." We began replenishing his zinc in the simplest way possible. Sesame seeds, those tiny seeds he'd never paid attention to, except seeing them sprinkled on bread. Yet they're one of the richest zinc sources nature offers. Sesame seeds also contain lignans, plant compounds that help regulate both estrogen and testosterone. For older men, lignans act like traffic controllers, keeping hormones on track during an age when balance is fragile. Studies of populations that consume more sesame seeds, particularly in Japan and the Mediterranean, show notably lower rates of prostate enlargement and more stable urinary function. I advised Arthur to take 1 to 2 tablespoons of lightly toasted sesame seeds daily, mixed into oatmeal or salads, and I told him to be patient. Don't expect results overnight, but give your body a few months to speak back to you. 3 months later, Arthur returned, this time smiling. His nighttime bathroom trips were cut in half. That constant, incomplete feeling was nearly gone, and his morning energy had returned. His zinc levels were back in the optimal range, and his prostate ultrasound showed clear reduction in swelling. What surprised Arthur most wasn't just that sesame seeds eased his symptoms. It was that they made him feel alive again, something he'd forgotten was possible. If you think that's all, just wait until you hear about the next seed. In ancient Greek mythology, the pomegranate was considered the forbidden fruit of the goddess Persephone, a symbol of rebirth and fertility. In ancient Persia, warriors drank fermented pomegranate wine before battle to strengthen their muscles and return home stronger in the eyes of their women. Modern science has confirmed what those legends hinted at. Pomegranates truly contain unique compounds that protect the prostate, reduce inflammation, and even improve male sexual function. Researchers have identified two powerful polyphenols in pomegranates, punicalagin and L-argitannins, that reduce chronic inflammation and inhibit the growth of prostate cancer cells without harming healthy ones. A landmark study published in the Journal of Urology found that men who drank pomegranate juice daily slowed their PSA rise, a marker of prostate inflammation and cancer risk, by nearly half compared to the control group. This isn't magic, it's pure biology. Pomegranate polyphenols sweep away free radicals, protect blood vessel linings, and boost nitric oxide, a potent vasodilator that helps blood flow more freely to the pelvic region and penis. When blood flows steadily to the prostate and inflammation subsides, symptoms like frequent nighttime urination, weak stream, and pelvic pressure begin to ease. And here's the fascinating part. Many men report an unexpected side effect, the quiet return of morning erections they thought were gone for good. I remember a patient named Harold, 71, who came to me worried because prostate cancer ran in his family. He was tired from waking up multiple times each night and feeling heaviness in his lower abdomen. After adding pomegranate seeds and pure, unsweetened pomegranate juice to his daily routine, just a small handful each day, his follow-up tests showed a marked drop in inflammation. But what made him smile was something else entirely. I'm finally sleeping through the night, and in the morning, I realize I'm still a man. If what I've shared resonates with you, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications, because the next video might be exactly what your body has been waiting for. And if you eat watermelon and throw away the seeds, I'm sorry to say this, you're discarding the most valuable part for your prostate health. I've seen this over and over in my clinic, men devouring the sweet red flesh, tossing the tiny seeds, only to show up later complaining of weak urine flow, waking 3 or 4 times a night, pelvic heaviness, and asking, "Is there a pill to fix this, doctor?" The answer is rarely in a prescription. It's in the seeds they've been throwing away. Watermelon seeds contain 3 key nutrients for the prostate: magnesium, zinc, and healthy fats. Zinc is the gatekeeper mineral of the male reproductive system. It regulates testosterone and blocks DHT, the hormone most responsible for prostate enlargement. When zinc is low, prostate tissue inflames and swells, overreacting to even small amounts of estrogen. Magnesium calms the bladder, relaxes the smooth muscle around the urethra, and helps urine flow more freely. And the healthy fats in watermelon seeds reduce inflammation and strengthen cell membranes, improving hormone receptor sensitivity. A study from the U.S. National Institute of Nutrition found that men with 20% higher blood zinc levels were up to 45% less likely to develop prostate enlargement than those deficient. And here's the kicker. Among common seeds, watermelon seeds, the ones most often discarded, are among the richest natural sources of zinc. That's why cultures in Africa and the Middle East have roasted and eaten watermelon seeds for generations as a natural manhood tonic, something modern science is only now beginning to confirm. Picture this. When your prostate is enlarged, it's like a tight ring squeezing your urethra. Blood flow drops, hormones go haywire, and your bladder overworks itself. The minerals in watermelon seeds, especially magnesium, act like a gentle hand, loosening that grip. Magnesium relaxes the muscles, eases bladder spasms, and calms nighttime urgency. Zinc stands guard, blocking the inflammatory hormones that damage prostate tissue while supporting testosterone production. Exactly what you need to maintain vitality. I once had a patient named Harold, 66, a lifelong watermelon lover who always spit out the seeds, afraid of choking. His blood tests showed severe zinc deficiency, low free testosterone, and worsening BPH symptoms. We added one simple change: lightly salted roasted watermelon seeds, just a 1/4 cup daily. 6 months later, Harold returned with doubled zinc levels, improved testosterone, and most importantly, his wife said she finally slept through the night because Harold no longer woke up 3 times to use the bathroom. You may have spent a lifetime caring for others, family, children, work, and forgotten that your body has been quietly asking for help. The prostate doesn't demand much. It doesn't need expensive drugs or complicated treatments. Sometimes, all it needs is a handful of seeds, a sign that you're still listening, still caring, still believing this body is worth loving. Don't wait until the symptoms get worse to begin. Let every small seed you eat today be a reminder that aging doesn't take away manhood. Neglect does. And if you're watching this video, take it as your call to begin. Not tomorrow, not someday, but today.